Shabbat Shalom. Let's try that again. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, it's so good to hear you louder than me. It is so exciting to be celebrating Shabbat on this week in particular. Does anybody have an idea why this is a particularly exciting Shabbat week? Anyone? Lila, what you got? It's Sukkot. Ooh, not the answer I was expecting, but I like it. It is Sukkot, the holiday where we build booths in our backyards or in the backyard of our synagogue, and we wave a lulav and an etrog, which you can see there, and also up there. Anybody else know why it's so exciting? See, now you're pointing at the lulav and etrog, but I'm going to call on you, so don't do that. Don't point at the lulav and the etrog. Do I see a hand? Yeah. Oh, we were eating stuff here and there were treats is 100% a right answer for what we are celebrating, because eating together as a grade is something we try to make sure happens every year, and it's always a treat, and we try to make sure there are always treats to celebrate it. So that is 100% part of what makes it special. What else? I feel like somebody told you that answer. Did somebody tell you that answer? It is first grade consecration, woohoo, which is our time to say, oh my goodness, we are so lucky you joined our community and that we get to study with you and learn with you and celebrate with you every week in Learning Corps and as the years go by. And so for some of you, this is your first year. For some of you, you have been at Shir Tikvah forever and ever and ever. Some of you got your names here. Some of you didn't. But this is the first year in first grade when we get to see you every week, and we are so excited that we get to celebrate with you.
So we were talking downstairs about this funny word, consecration, and I saw some of you coming in, and Rabbi Cari said, are you here for consecration? You were like, what is that? So I was thinking about that word, consecration. It means with holiness, like with sacredness. And what we mean when we say this, and I love what Rabbi Cari just said, is that we think it's so holy to have you as part of our community, that we get to sing with you and study with you and eat with you and play on the playground, that we say we want a special night just to say you are so holy, every single one of you, your parents, your grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, whoever is here with you, and members of our own community here to welcome you in and say, we are holy here together in this beautiful sanctuary in our beautiful community. So we're going to start with a few warm-up songs. And if you happen to be sitting next to a first grader, they will know the words to all of these. So sing loud, first graders. I know you got this one. This first one is called Bim Bam. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. And another superpower of the first graders is that they have been working on the hand motions to David Melech Yisrael. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, Louisa, do you think you need to come up here? But you're pretty good with those hand motions, no? Mm-hmm. All right, she's saying no. Are you guys feeling pretty confident on your David Melech? You got it? Okay. All right. if you are a first grader and you feel like coming up to show the hand motions to the adults for David Melech, you can come up, no pressure. But if you feel that confidence, we'd love to have you come up. Because it gets kind of fast. It does get fast, right? Well, it does. And plus, we get to see you guys, which is so nice. So we're gonna start. Let's start slow, you guys, just for the parents and the grandparents and everybody who's here, like just to get them warmed up. All right, here's the slow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai. All right, I think you're looking good. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech. All right, you guys, you are looking great. Let's do it a little faster. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael. Can you do it one more time? David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai V'Kayam. All right, now it's a party, you guys. That was beautiful. And let us sing. And will the congregation please help us with this? Hine Matov. How good it is. It says it right up there. How good it is for us to be together. Then we're going to say how good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. 2, 3, 4. Hine Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov umanayim shevet achim gam. All right, I'll go first this time. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. We're gonna do it again. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. And here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. And do it again. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim. All right, will everyone go first? I'll repeat it after you. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. And do it again. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. And here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. And just to say how smart these first graders are, I don't even think you guys have heard that song before. They learned it like in 2 seconds. So are there a couple of other first graders who might want to come up, because we're about to light the Shabbat candles and then sing another song. So if you, come on up, Chelsea. Wonderful. And no pressure. You don't have to come up if you don't want to. But we're going to turn toward, someone's being
Louisa, it's
carried
an honor
over here
to invite you. And if anybody wants to come see the candles over here, make sure your hands can go like this without touching, but you can see them, okay? And your teacher, Louisa, your extraordinary teacher, is going to light the candles. And then you're going to help me. We're going to make 3 circles with our arms, and we're going to cover our eyes while we say the blessing. There. Just hit the bottom button. All right, got your hands ready? Hold on, let me lift it up. Yeah, it's touching the... Try that. All right, you guys. Sometimes light is really hard to find. And you got to go the second way around. All right, ready? We're going to count in Hebrew. So we're going to say Echad, Shtayim, Shalosh, and cover our eyes.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad lekner Lehad lekner shel Shabbat. Don't sit down yet,
Oh,
though.
no, just kidding.
We
You
got
have
one
to
more song.
turn
Come on
around
back
and
where you
face
were.
your families.
We have just lit those beautiful Shabbat candles. We're full of light. And we'd like to lead you in a song called This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Say it again. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, take it around the world. Take it around the world with me. I'm gonna let it shine. Take it around the world with me. I'm gonna let it shine. Take it around the world with me. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. All right, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Sing it again. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Cover it up with a barrel? No. Cover it up with a barrel? No. I'm gonna let it shine. Cover it up with a barrel? No. I'm gonna let it shine. Do it again, you guys. That's perfect. It up with a barrel? No. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. All right, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Now, if you were a candle, you can't. My little light out, I'm gonna let it shine. You can't. My little light out, I'm gonna let it shine. And do it one more time. You can't. My little light out, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it. All right, take a deep breath, everyone. Let's do it one last time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. All right. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Woo! Nicely done. And now you guys can take your seats back where you were. You'll be back up again, though.
So there are some prayers in our service that we think you need to do something a little different, to pay attention to a little differently. And one of the ways we pay attention with our bodies is we rise. We either stand with our feet, like standing up, or we just, if standing up isn't an option, we sort of sit ourselves up so that we're paying more attention. And when we do that in this synagogue, it's our way of saying this matters. This prayer really is something we should pay attention to. And this next prayer is a prayer which we sing to each other. We're going to call back and forth. And it says, we hope you feel at home in this sanctuary. And that's the most important thing we can say to each other is, we hope you feel at home here. And so I'm going to ask you to stand, to rise in body or in spirit.
Dear one, Shekhinah, holy name, when I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one,
We have a prayer that says that all of our lives are echad, are one, that we are all connected. And so we are going to sing that prayer, the Shema, which means listen. And if you can, if you don't know these words yet, you can listen for the word echad, which means we all need each other.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed.
And you may be seated. Does anybody remember which holiday it is that someone said we're celebrating right now? One of the reasons we're celebrating. Sandy Jo, what holiday is it right now? Sukkot. Very good. How do we celebrate Sukkot, Sandy Jo? We live in a booth. What does that mean? Did you actually move into a booth?
I did.
You did?
It's a temporary house, a temporary place.
It's a little temporary hut to sleep in. That's great. And what are you supposed to do in it? Do you remember?
Shake that.
Shake what?
Those things up there.
What are those things called? Lulav and etrog. That's right. Sandy Jo, do you know where else the lulav and the etrog are in our sanctuary?
Up there.
Yeah, that's right. The lulav and the etrog are surrounding us all the time because the community members who built this building thought that these symbols of Sukkot were so important that they could actually be with us year-round, not just the week that we live in booths. And I want to tell you a story about Sukkot. And in particular, I want to tell you a story not about the lulav, which is this one, which is made up of 3 different kinds of plants. And if you want at the end, I can help you wave it. But I want to tell you a story about this. What's it look like? A lemon, right? It looks like a lemon. It's not a lemon, though. It's actually, it's not nearly as good tasting as a lemon, it turns out. But you know what it is? It smells even better than a lemon. Oh, wait. Hold on. Sometimes you have to scratch them to really get the smell going. Okay. If I pass this around while I tell you the story, can you guys, A, take big smells, and B, can you try your hardest not to break this part off? And if it does break off, that's okay. Okay? But ideally, it wouldn't break off, but it's no big deal because we have other ones for our synagogue. So it's like a no pressure situation on this, okay? So, and again, you might need to do a little scratching to really get the smell going, but it is good. So I want to tell you a story about a man named Isaac who lived a long time ago, before there were cars, okay? That's a long time. And he was Jewish, and he loved being Jewish. And one of the reasons that he loved being Jewish was there is only 1 month in the entire Jewish year that doesn't have a holiday. That means that every month Isaac got to celebrate something. He got to have like a meal with the extra treats and the fun stuff, and he loved it. But his favorite one, his absolute favorite, was Sukkot. And he loved it because he loved the etrog. He loved smelling the etrog, and he loved how it felt when he held it with the lulav, and how it looked when he waved him around, and how he listened. And every year he went to the market and he bought the most beautiful etrog he could find. And it kind of became a thing with him where every year he wanted a bigger etrog and a prettier etrog and an even more perfect etrog. And his wife kind of said, why? What are you going to do with that big of an etrog or that fancy of an etrog? What do you need that for? And he said, I want an etrog that's so big that I can't even wrap my hands. If I had them like this, they couldn't touch. Is that bigger than that etrog? Yeah, much bigger than that, right? What would you do with that? Said his wife. You couldn't hold it with this. You couldn't wave it in all the directions. What are you going to do with an etrog that is so big that you can't hold it with your hands? And he said, you know what? I want an etrog as big as a horse. As big as a horse? She said, yes. He said, I'm going to town and I'm going to get an etrog as big as our horse. Because remember, this is before the cars, so he was horseback riding, sort of. Let's imagine it. So he got on his horse, and he started to ride to town. And he was sure he was going to get the etrog that was as big as his horse this year. Do you think he was going to find one that big? You sure? All right, well, let's find out, okay? So he went to town, and he was pretty far from home, but not quite at town, when he found a man on the side of the road with a cart. And that cart was full of these giant canisters, which is how they used to deliver milk. Does anybody here have milk delivered to their house? That's a thing you can still do, I swear. But it comes with a car. Back then, it did not come in a car. It came with a carriage drawn by a horse, big cans, and the milkman would deliver milk to each house on his way. Well, the milkman was standing there on the side of the road, and there was the cart, and there were the cans, but there was only a man in tears. What's wrong? Isaac asked him. My horse, he hurt his foot. He can't walk. I can't deliver the milk, and everybody is going to be thirsty right before the holiday. The milkman said, well, Isaac thought about it for about that long. And he took out all that money he had saved all year to buy the biggest, most beautiful etrog with the best scent that was also the size of a horse. And he said, here, you can have my money. And Isaac just turned around and he rode his horse back home. And his wife was really surprised because it had not been enough time for him to have driven all the way or rode all the way to town to pick out an etrog and to bring it back. And she said to him, well, what happened? And Isaac smiled and he said, I think I bought an etrog as big as a horse. And then he told her the story. And he said, I don't need an etrog this year. I think I can borrow one of our neighbor's etrogs for the prayers and for our sukkah. And the milkman can deliver his milk. Well, that's great and really kind, right? Do you think what he did is really kind? Yeah. Only there was a little bit of a uh-oh. So Isaac had told everybody that he was going to get an etrog as big as a horse. So that night he heard on his door and he opened it up and all of his neighbors were there and they were all so excited and they said, where's the etrog? Is it as big as a horse? And Isaac said, no, but he didn't really want to say what had happened. But the milkman had been out all afternoon delivering the milk. And at each house that he stopped and he delivered milk, he said, you know Isaac, who lives down the lane? He made this possible for me. He saved me. He helped me. And so all of those neighbors who came to the door, they actually knew what had happened before they knocked on the door. And they said, where's the etrog? That's as big as a horse. And he said, I didn't get it this year. And they said, oh, okay. And the one in the very back handed something to the one in front of him, to the one in front of him, to the one in front of him. And up in front of Isaac, his neighbor held a normal sized etrog. Hope that means we're all okay. And Isaac cried. And he said, this is the most perfect etrog I have ever seen. And he took a sniff and he said, this has the sweetest smell I have ever smelled. And he invited all of his friends into his sukkah and they ate all of the good treats and they probably had pizza. And it was the sweetest Sukkot ever because everybody gave what they could. And so I want to wish you all, as you enter into our community, a Chag Sameach, which is what we say when we're saying have a happy holiday. Can you say it? Chag Sameach. And I want you to know that when you need us, we're going to be here for each other. How'd the etrog smell? Did everybody get it? Yeah. Nobody? No, somebody didn't get it? Oh no. Well, guess what? And the pitom survived.
So one of the things we do when it's a part of a holy community is we offer help and prayer to those who are in need, if they're sick in their mind or their body or in their mood, and we say, what can we do to help you? And so every Friday night, we say a prayer called the Misha Berach, one of the oldest prayers there are, and we say, may our lives be a blessing because we are connected to each other. And before we sing it, we read a list of names, and every person on this list is in need of healing in some way. And then we're going to ask you if you'd like to add anyone to this list. So as a community, we are praying for the healing of Deb Schwartz, Phyllis Fuld, Judy Itzkovitz, Karen Seiler, Pat Finder. We are praying for the healing of Emily Sharon, Liz Walheim, Athena Morris, Marnie Kaplan, Nate Sugarman, Dave Corbanow, Ken Doucette, Jan Amsterdam, Sarah Kianowski, Debbie Gilman, Neil Daniels Midman, Ed Snow, Tom Lemons, Diana Sanders, Liliana Walheim Martinez, Frank, Andy, Joyce, and Bert, Gordon Bishop, Marcy M., Laura Bell, Jenny Vanderpool, Annie Graham and her family, Anya Kabel, Sue Boardman, Ayelet Galbat, Chava Vaher Shmuel, and Stanley Roth. And if there is someone in your life that you would like to say their name, just to send them some healing prayers, please raise your hand and we will be so honored to call on you. Riva. Is that you? Turn, if you have a prayer book, it's on page 130. And if not, these words will be up on the screen here. Sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Also, what we do when we're together in this holy community is we remember people who are no longer physically with us, people who have died at this season especially. So if you have a prayer book, we're going to turn to page 44. And you will hear some more names. And these are all the names of people who died around this time of year. It's called their Yortzeit. And just in this week, we are remembering Ruth Slater, who died about a week and a half ago. And of course, we're remembering all those who have died in senseless violence all around the world. And the Yortzeits tonight include Yaela Tuch, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Bachman, who is the father of Arev Alexander, Betty Schwartzman, the mother of Tom Schwartzman, is the third yard site of Aviva Goldenberg, Karen's beloved mother. And Karen, we're so glad you're here tonight. It is also the first yard site of Florence Foreman, who is Louisa's beloved grandmother, who died just 1 year ago. And it is the fifth yard site of our beloved Alan Finder, a member of our community and friend to so many of us. This is his fifth yard site, and we're thinking of Pat and of Matt and Ben and of little Jack, his grandchild. And in this year of memory, we remember Eileen Kleinkoff, Kathy Nath, Pat Urich, and Sivan Ehrlich. And if there are those loved ones you are remembering tonight who are feeling especially close to you tonight or who died around this year, we would be so honored to call on you if you raise your hand. And for those who are joining us online, to put it in the chat.
Robert Bader.
Margaret Meyer.
For all those named, for those who have no one to say their names for them, we become one community with the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 44. I invite you to rise, embody your spirit. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaye echon uv'yom echon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudasha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. You may be seated.
And you guys, it's now the moment we have all been waiting for. First graders, will you just raise your hands? Just make sure are you still awake, you guys? You're still awake? You're doing okay? Okay. All right, you guys, you are looking sunshiny as ever. And we are now going to call you guys up, each one by one. Your amazing teacher, Louisa, you will hear your name called by her. When you hear your name, just come up and you're going to stand by me way down here. And first you're going to get a little gift. And I also just want to say, you guys, because this is consecration, this is our holy time of welcoming you to this community. Louisa was one of the first kids that I ever met at Shir Tikvah. It was like, what were you, 8th or 9th grade, I think. And now here Louisa is our first grade teacher. And also in the house tonight is Diane Betcher and Steve Betcher. Diane, will you just raise your hand? Diane was a founding member of this synagogue. Mm-hmm. How many years now, Steve? How many years has it been? It'll be 40 years, you guys, since Shir Tikvah has been in existence. 40 years ago, Diane and Steve and a whole bunch of people got together and said, let's dream of a congregation that could be in Winchester. There was no synagogue here. And we couldn't have even imagined that it would be such a beautiful place on this beautiful pond with these beautiful people with us. And now you're all here. Also in the house is Alana Press. Alana, will you just raise your hand over here? There's Alana over there. Alana grew up here. How old were you when you came, do you think, for the first time? Tiny baby. And now Alana lives in Colorado, is getting some graduate degree in something I can't even possibly understand, astrophysics or something, beyond that even. Something like that. She can't even tell me because I don't understand it. And so, Alana, you stood up here in this very moment, in this holy moment. And you guys, I want you to know is that we all will remember this moment forever. Like, this is so important to us. We'll think of it at your B'nai Mitzvah. We'll think of it when you're getting married, and all those years in between, when your own children maybe will be coming here, who knows? But we get to grow up with you. I've been growing up here for a long time now. Rabbi Cari's been growing up here. Louisa's been growing up here. And we can't wait to grow up with you and see who the wonderful people you're becoming over all these years. So Louisa, without further ado, will you call up our first student?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, into that. Brian, do you mind turning this one on? Ah, there it goes.
The first one is Jacob. Is he here? Hi, Jacob. Mazel tov.
And you can go stand with Beth.
And then Jade. Thought I saw her.
Hi, Jade.
Mazel tov.
Happy birthday, 7 years old.
And Jude.
And we'll save our applause till the very end, just so we can welcome everyone.
Go stand with Jade.
Hudson. And Charlie W. David. Here.
Where's David?
Maybe not.
Oh,
Not here.
well, that's good because I dropped it.
Zoe, I saw you.
Mazel tov.
Charlie K. I saw Henry. Henry, come on up. Hannah.
Mazel tov.
Kai.
Not here.
Eli or Elijah.
Mazel tov.
And Will.
Mazel tov.
And Eleanor.
Mazel tov.
And Hazel. Asher.
Yeah, sure. Mazel tov.
Ray.
Hey, Ray. Mazel tov.
And Brantley. Come on up.
Here he comes. Mazel tov.
I think Sandy Joe.
So, you guys, this is so amazing to see you all standing up here. And before we give a big round of applause for you, I would just like to say, we would all like to say the biggest thank you to Bailey Starr, who leads our school. 'Cause we just, and there is a blessing that we say. The first time we do anything, the first night of a holiday, or where we wear new clothing or eat something new that we've never had before. And this is the first time we are welcoming you officially into the Shir Tikvah community. So we sing these special words, Shehachianu, that say, thank God we have reached this moment all together to celebrate this joy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. All right, now a long amen. Keep that amen going. final song and the round of applause for you guys. This is such a special group of children. I just want to say the lights are on in the backyard, and we have this beautiful new backyard. And if you want to take the lulav and etrog down to the sukkah is open thanks to our sukkah raisers. You can go shake the lulav if you'd like to down there. There's also a tiny bit of dessert left over afterwards. And don't let you guys know. Could we have a round of applause for our amazing first graders? Woo! And don't leave yet. You guys, your last thing to do, your last thing is to lead us in. It is a tree of life. 1, 2, 3. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. All right, here we go. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. All right, you guys, one last time. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. All right, you guys, really strong. Shalom, shalom, woo! Shalom, shalom, woo! Shalom, 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 woo! Ooh, fantastic, you guys. Shabbat shalom, Chag Sameach, and we will see you soon. You can head on downstairs. Mazel tov to all the first graders and their families, and to you.